and then I'll cue you, okay? And we're going now.
Yes, sir. It's the 9 to 5 Sports Guys. This is what episode is this?
This is 31, but it's also the 1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary of the 9 to 5 Sports Guys. It's been a year so far?
Yeah, it's been a year. Been grinding.
Okay, it's been a crazy year.
To say the least, yeah.
We started off the year
Outside.
and then we found a studio. Shout out to Press Play Studios. And
We got another studio now. Shout out to Press Play Studios.
and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah, and we still here.
And we still here. We got George in the building. It's your boy T.
It's your boy Nam.
TJ had to handle some BI. But we're going to get straight into it. Shout out to all of 9 to 5 fans that have been supporting us for the last year. I know it's been tough, but we're going to continue to try to give y'all some good content. And we're going to start off with the first topic of the day, which is the NBA recap. So far, we have the Denver Nuggets, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Boston Celtics, and the Miami Heat.
Yes, sir.
Now, are you surprised that the Clippers didn't make it to the Western Conference Finals?
Yes, I am surprised. I'm very surprised. I felt like they disrespected the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't take it serious enough. When it showed down the stretch in the playoffs. Late in games, they loaded up on Kawhi, and the team basically, they didn't know what to do. The chemistry wasn't there,
Yeah.
and we seen it. It's not good.
Load management. That's the cons of load management. You have to play the regular season to a certain extent. Of course, you can take games off here and there, but you can't take 20, 30 games off
Yeah.
and think you'll be okay, especially when it's a new team that you're forming the way that they did. If it was like the way that Miami did it, second, third year of Wade and Bosh and the big three that they had, you could do it in your second, third year. But in your first year, when you're just bringing in two guys that are essentially maybe 50% of the offense and you're managing their minutes so much compared to the core that you already had, it's going to show down the stretch, and it did.
Now, with that being said, are y'all disappointed or surprised in Kawhi's performance in Game 7?
I'm disappointed. Very disappointed. I expected him to come out and have a big game, close out the Nuggets. They had 3 chances to close them out.
Yes.
Failed every
and
time.
all three of them, they had leads. So
Big leads at that.
yeah, double-digit leads. We're talking about close to 20-point leads every one of those games.
That's
It's unacceptable.
unacceptable, and it's very interesting because now we're starting to see Kawhi getting some of the superstar treatment. So now we're starting to see, he was getting praised last year for beating the Warriors, even though they weren't 100%. But now he's starting to get some of that backlash because for a long time,
His whole career.
he would get praise but no backlash.
Yeah, Kawhi probably fell into the most perfect situation. I was telling George one time that name a top 5 player we've seen in the last 30 years that was drafted to a team that was championship ready.
Mm-hmm.
And he never had to struggle. That's why his winning percentage is so high. He's never had to really struggle because he's just been the guy that helped every team that he's been on get over the hump, including this team.
And
they just dropped the ball.
also with the Raptors, every team he's been on besides this team has been a ready-made team.
Including the Raptors, yeah.
So he's been on ready-made teams. Even though this team was a playoff team last year, it wasn't, you lost a couple pieces and you add 2 pieces. And like George said, it's hard to really build that when Kawhi's, load managing. PG did have a injury early on in the season. That's different, but you can't just throw players out there and think that it's going to work.
It's a switch. They act like they were like the Miami Heat because Miami had this switch in the second half that they just turn on.
Yeah.
Or even the Warriors as of late, they just have a switch they turn on in the second half and they just run wild. But if you don't have that chemistry, that switch isn't there. And we've seen that.
And also, what it looks like to me is that people don't know their roles on that team.
Yeah, I agree.
it seems like, and that was one of the problems. The Heat team with LeBron and D Wade,
The first year.
nobody really knew what role to play. You can have a alpha, and you had an alpha in Dwayne Wade and alpha in LeBron, but they was kind of, all right, you do it until Dwayne Wade said, okay, you be the leader and we'll follow you.
We'll follow suit, right?
Now it was supposed to be Kawhi and PG was supposed to be that Robin or whatever, but
At times, it looked like Lou Williams was robbing.
yeah, because Lou Will stepped up Now he stepped up during the season during the bubble. He was MIA.
Lemon Pepper got him.
Limit.
I think Doc Rivers, he has to get some of the blame too, because
Absolutely.
their offense was real predictable, and I seen what the Nuggets were doing. They were really loading up on Kawhi, and Paul George didn't step up as the Robin.
Yeah,
He didn't step up.
yeah, and then they just had no answer for not Zoo
Jokic.
Jokic.
Yeah, I think as much as we blame the Nuggets, we also have to give credit as much as we blame the Clippers, we have to give credit to the Nuggets, because the Nuggets did play very well.
Mm-hmm.
Every time Doc would have a response defensively for the 1-5 screen roll that they had at the top of the key,
Mm-hmm.
they had a counter.
Yeah,
They would either put another shooter in there, or they would kick it to the weak side. Zubac couldn't get back fast enough, and Montrez, when they put Montrez in,
They just
Jokic
switch it
goes on
and
the
it goes
block.
on the post, and it's too small.
Yeah, and then when the double comes, you're playing into Jokic's best strength, which is his passing ability. He is a center version of LeBron James. You don't want him to pass; you want him to score.
to score. Yeah. Now, as far as the load managing, can we say that load managing works now? Now, mind you, he load managed it during the season, and then everybody got 5 months off, but
It works if it's your second, third, and you have chemistry.
okay,
But if it's your first year, I think it's in your best interest to play as many games so you can gel. And Kawhi said it himself in the post-game interviews, and he was saying he wants to play more regular season games.
yeah,
Now you want to play more regular season games.
you got no choice now.
But when Pop was doing it, or even Nick Nurse did it to you, you was perfectly fine with it because this nagging injury that you had. But all of a sudden, you want to play now. So there's no excuses there. And even Paul George, when he said it wasn't a championship or bust, like
Yes,
knew,
it was.
You knew that.
Yes,
you
it
knew
was.
coming in that it was championship or bust.
Majority of the sports people said that it was either the Lakers or the Clippers.
Yeah, we all picked them.
The-
All picked them.
The Bucks, people would say the Bucks, but it wasn't like it was either the Lakers or Clippers.
Right. Whoever wins comes out the West. That's what we all said.
Exactly. That was the pick from everyone.
Right. It's just it was an embarrassment. I think it's one of the worst losses.
Yeah,
for
I think we got to put that down with the Miami Heat loss to the Dallas Mavericks. That's one of the biggest upsets in playoff history, I think.
I put it next to Dirk and the Warriors when Dirk was bounced in the first round with Baron Davis.
Yeah.
After winning 60 whatever games.
Now the only difference with that is at least the Heat got to the finals.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They didn't lose before they got to the finals.
Okay. That's acceptable.
So we got Denver and we got LA. Last night was the first game. Anthony Davis came out strong, 37 points. Everybody else made a contribution. Now, what I've been saying is, in order for the Lakers to get to the finals, Anthony Davis has to become a monster.
He is right
He has to average at least 30, 35 points
He's
a
averaging that.
game.
I'm sure he's close. He's got to be averaging 32 right now.
He has to be a monster. That's the only way the Lakers are going to beat this Denver team and possibly whoever comes out the East. Because you know what LeBron's going to give you
And
almost every night.
LeBron didn't put up many points last game. This last game anyway.
Yeah.
So, and they were up as many as 27. So, Lakers in 5, like I said before.
Yeah, it's going to be a quick series.
Quick
Denver
series.
can't match up with them. They got several bodies to throw at Jokic. They got a lot of size.
Athletic bodies.
Yeah.
And I think they got to mix up their coverages on Anthony Davis. He made it look easy yesterday.
Yeah.
He made it look too easy. LeBron James had a slow night.
Subpar.
And they still got blown out. That's not good, man.
But
That's not good.
I gotta give a shout out to Dwight Howard. because he played well last night.
Yeah, playing through Rajon Rondo played like Boston Rajon Rondo. He's in his bag. He's putting up phenomenal numbers. He's very efficient in distributing the ball too.
Now, moving on to the East, we have the Boston Celtics.
My boys.
And the Miami Heat. Now, I kind of wish Charles was here because, he's been nagging me about the Heat when I've been praising them all season.
Right.
But are you surprised that the Heat are up 2-0 in the Eastern Conference?
I am surprised, but the series is not over yet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Boston, it's not the Heat dominated Boston. Boston gave those 2 games away. They were up double digits both games.
Yeah.
It's a couple of things they need to clean up on their end, but I think they can come back and win the series.
I had the Heat. I had the Celtics in 5. I'm still going to stick with the Celtics, just going to be in 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I
had Boston at 6 or 7, but I don't know. It all depends what they look like, because Gordon Hayward, his status got upgraded to questionable, so he could play.
Yeah.
If he plays and they barely win, then we might have to reconsider my picks, because Miami just looks like they want it more. And
absolutely.
The continuity is on their side is a lot better. They have defined roles, and on Boston it's a little shaky because sometimes it looks like Tatum wants to take over and Kemba wants to, and Jaylen Brown he needs touches. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there with Brad Stevens.
Yeah, right now he's getting out-coached. He's getting out-coached by
Spoelstra. Yeah, the coaching experience of Eric is definitely has shown throughout the playoffs, especially when they played that zone in that second half that just threw them all out of whack.
Yeah,
that's how they cut the 17-point lead coming into the half.
Yeah, and I think they got to get Jaylen Brown more involved too.
You have to. 100%.
He has to get more involved, man.
But you see the difference between Boston and other teams, or Boston and like the Clippers. The Heat and the Clippers. The Heat know who their number one guy is. Everyone else knows their role.
Right.
But it seems like with the Clippers, it's like, all right, no, it's your turn. No, it's my turn. Now, granted, if you have the hot hand, yeah, let's feed it to the hot hand. But it just, at the end of the games, it's like, all right, who's going to close? Who's going to be that guy that's going to lead us to the promised land?
Well, the Clippers got ahead of themselves, when they were running their mouths to Dame and all that. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Dame too, because he got the last laugh.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, Cancun.
So the Greek Freak, he won his second MVP,
right.
Back-to-back MVP. Not a lot of people has been able to do that.
And he got Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, he also got Defensive Player of the Year. Only 2 other people.
Michael Jordan and Olajuwon. Olajuwon's the last.
And and now I seen something yesterday that LeBron James was a little bit upset.
Rightfully so.
Because he played phenomenal also.
Rightfully so.
And so what are y'all thoughts about Giannis winning the MVP?
I think LeBron should have won it. My personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say Giannis shouldn't have got it, but I feel like LeBron should have won. He had a better season. They number 1 in the West. Everyone said, "Oh, he's going to the West. He can't win in the West."
Yeah,
and he did everything everyone said he wasn't gonna do.
At 35, he wasn't 28.
Led the league in assists. He did everything, man. I think LeBron should have won it. Run away.
Not only that, but it's so crazy how the hate travels with LeBron. I'm starting to hear from certain people. Now, I've been hearing this before the Clippers lost, but I'm starting to hear that the West is now a cakewalk for LeBron to get to the finals.
See, and that's what it is. Wherever LeBron goes, we tend to move the goals to make it seem like it's easier. It's because of the bubble. People didn't play for 3 months. Well, he didn't play for 3 months either.
Yeah.
So it's an even playing field. I feel like LeBron proved everybody wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I still praise Giannis for getting the MVP is because those 18 to 20 games that we missed out on, we would have seen a definitive reason of why LeBron should get it.
Yes.
But being that he didn't get to play because he started getting hot, beat the Clippers, beat the Bucks. He was on a roll, efficient, everything. I think if he would have played out, he probably would have played 15 of those 20 games. He would have looked great, making it easier for his case. But since he didn't, we have what Giannis did prior to that. So 60 or 50-some games and 9 losses. So it looked 10 times better.
One thing I could say is, and this is throughout his whole career, nothing is more scarier than a motivated LeBron.
Yeah, I think they definitely lit a fire by giving him, 16, 18 votes, whatever he got.
Yeah.
I think that's going to make him prove, because we seen it yesterday, or was it yesterday when they played? Yeah, yesterday, that even when he doesn't have an impactful game on the scoring end, he's still going to dominate the game.
Yes.
He dominated the game in transition. He dominated the game defensively and just vocally as a leader. He had all them guys clicking in a way that Denver really doesn't have an answer.
Yeah.
Because they know they're not going to let up.
Yeah, and the thing with Denver is I like the fact I like the fact that Denver they're not going to give up. They did make a couple runs. They did, try to push. And I think game 2, if Denver was to win a game, it would probably be game 2 because Denver doesn't give up.
I say 3. Lakers go up 2-0, but game 3, I think Denver fights, gives us 1, and then it's over after that.
I think they can win 2 games because they got, like you said, they got a lot of fight in them. They play hard, but they just don't have the talent, man.
The others are not
and
experienced enough.
Their bread and butter, that 1-5 pick and roll with Murray and Jokic, I think it's going to be neutralized this series, man. It's not going to be as successful as it was against the Clippers.
All right, so Gary Harris and Grant, their contributions has to be 10 times more.
And Porter Jr.
I think Porter
the other
Jr.
guys, they got to step up.
I think Porter Jr. is going to step up because it's crazy because once he said that, along with Paul Millsap getting into it with the Morris twin, once Porter Jr. said that, they started, they fought back and they won that series. So even though it wasn't a bunch of numbers for him, he had a little bit of impact. And I think he's going to be that third piece once he, develops. Yeah. He's going to be that third piece because he's 6'10", he can shoot.
Yeah.
He's got
Definitely.
a little athletic.
He just needs to work on his defensive attributions because he's a little not engaged
and his ball handling.
Yeah,
ball handling too.
But yeah, he definitely might be that third piece. But so how many games you got?
Lakers in 5 games.
What about you now?
5.
Lakers in 5.
Yeah. What'd you say? You said 5, didn't you? Yeah. Like, because last week you said 5 everything. Like, Subway, a Subway commercial.
Nah, I mean, I that Celtics Heat series, man. I don't know, man. I said Celtics
6.
in 5.
I said that one in 6. Boston is gonna fight back, and I think Boston wins it because they have the better talent. Because they, like George said, they dominated most of the games. They just let up in towards the end of the third quarter. They just been letting up.
Oh man, it's gonna be interesting. Tonight is game 3.
Kemba has to figure out what he's gonna do. It's either you're gonna chase these guys defensively or you're gonna just put up a lot of points offensively because they're attacking Kemba a lot. He's too small to even guard. Dragic just killing him.
Yeah,
and then you put him on Duncan Roberts and he's running him around like he's Rip Hamilton. So Kemba is the key to that series. We have to see that $100 and whatever million they gave him.
Yeah, he has to play like an all-star, man.
Yeah, we have to see it.
Since the last 2 games of Toronto series, going into this series, he hasn't been himself, man.
The whole playoffs, he's shooting less than 30% from the 3-point line, so it's pretty bad.
Not the whole playoffs. First round, he played well. Most of the Toronto series, he played well, except for the last 2 games. But these last 2 games, he hasn't played like that all-star that they wanted him to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree.
All right, well, we about to pay some bills, and we'll be back in a sec. Yes, sir. Yes, we're back. Now, did you guys happen to see the first week of the NFL?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
What was your takeaway from week 1?
Where do you want to start at?
Let's talk about the Saints in Tampa.
The Saints are clicking, and Tampa needs time. Tampa needs about 3-4 weeks.
Yeah,
especially offensively. The timing and the rhythm and it's not quite there. We seen it in the first drive; it was there, but I think that was more so we got a point to prove.
Mm-hmm.
And then after, as the game unwind, we seen the timing wasn't there with the receivers, and Mike Evans got shut down. He had like no catches. Yeah,
he might have.
You know, he had no catches. He was shut down.
But the thing is, it just goes to show you can't just put anybody on a team and think that it's going to work out. You got to build some type of chemistry.
Yeah.
And I think them not having a preseason definitely hurt that Tampa Bay squad.
It did exactly. But I mean, it was a lot to take away. Russell Wilson is Russell Magic. I wish Troy was here because his Falcons, they just got beat.
Yeah,
got dragged, and then your Jets, I don't think the wings took off.
Yo, the funny thing about the Jets, I'm watching the first half, and Le'Veon couldn't do anything. Sam Darnold was running for his life, and then on the other end, first of all, that kid Brown, I got him on my fantasy. I had him on the bench, and he lit us up like the first half.
You think that's a personnel issue or a coaching issue for you?
Coaching. And I said this in a past episode. If you get fired from one job and your team didn't even make the playoffs, you should at least sit out a year before you get another job. Honestly, because how do you pick up a coach that doesn't make the playoffs? But what do you think he's going to do with your squad?
But it could be the personnel that he had over there just doesn't work for the system.
Well, if the personnel didn't work on that squad and it's not working on your new squad,
then it's you.
It's you.
You're right.
Same thing. Luke Walton, he had that Lakers squad from last year.
Yeah.
Now, granted, LeBron got hurt, but you go to Sacramento and you still don't do nothing.
Right. It only worked at the Warriors because the personnel is ready made.
Exactly. So I don't know why we hired this guy. He must have some dirt on the general manager because you didn't do anything in Miami and you come over here and then you look at Ryan Tannehill. He goes to another system, another team. Now, granted, it's not solely him, but he's doing good in that over there in Tennessee. So I don't even want to.
Pittsburgh looked good.
What y'all think about Big Ben's return? How you think he played?
To be honest with you, not to take nothing away from Big Ben, but he was playing the Giants.
It's the Giants. Shout out to Sheen, but it's the Giants.
It's the Giants.
Of course, man.
Like Saquon couldn't get going. Danny Dimes was.
That's because that Steelers defense is for real.
No, it is. It is. But it could be for real against Danny, quote unquote, Dimes.
Yeah, we need that defense to be tested a little bit. That wasn't quite like, okay, so you got Saquon and that's it. Who else do you stop? Shepard?
Yeah.
When was the last time you seen a running back get held to 5 yards?
Yeah, but if the running back is the only thing you have, I can see how that happens.
And that offensive line is horrible. So I give more credit, obviously you give credit to Pittsburgh, but the Giants, them and the Jets are like 1, 2, 3, first pick. Yeah. So they competing for that first pick.
I think the team that surprised me the most was Washington, though.
Yes, and I got to give them credit. I kind of make fun of them last week and said that
we're gonna make fun of them until they get a team. They're just the Washington.
The Washington. They ain't even got a logo, nothing.
Yeah, but they surprised me, especially beating the Eagles, which is a division rival and a playoff contending team. You scored 27 in a row. That's incredible.
Yeah. Washington. I know it was only one game, but I think if they can put some more games together,
if they can stay healthy, I think health has always been an issue for the past couple of years for them. Down the stretch, they start losing valuable players because the past couple of years they've always started with top 5 in the defense.
Yeah,
but just injuries have been their biggest plague.
Sticking with that division, did you guys watch the Dallas Rams game?
Yeah, I watched that game. I think Dallas got robbed. That pass interference call, that was wrong. That was not a pass interference. It was just a clean catch. He barely even touched him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Ramsey sold it.
Yeah, he sold it real well, but that's just a bad call, man.
It's tough though, because it's like that's a tough call to make at the end of the game, especially with the game. He catches that, they get in the field goal range.
Yeah.
So that's a tough call.
So let's do week 2 picks. Giants, Chicago. Who y'all got?
I got a tie.
Ty.
Nah, I got Chicago.
Got Chicago.
Chicago, okay. Atlanta and Dallas.
I don't go with nothing Atlanta. I'm gonna go with Dallas.
Dallas.
Even though Atlanta might come through, but
I think it's just gonna be. Do you want the game? I don't want the game. It's just gonna be back and forth like that all game.
yeah,
'Cause they're both, for whatever reason, they just know how to lose.
both teams.
Tennessee or Jacksonville.
Tennessee.
I'm gonna go Tennessee, but Jacksonville won last week.
Jacksonville, yeah, they fought well. They Phillip Rivers and them. They dropped the ball.
Yeah.
late. They look like they had the momentum. Does Dalvin Cook in Minnesota, do they bounce back against the Colts?
Nah, I'm gonna get
They
a
got
Colt.
washed.
I don't know. That's gonna be a good game.
They
I
got
think I'm gonna go with the
washed.
Colts on that one.
Yeah,
Colts?
I'm gonna go with the Colts too.
Buffalo or Miami?
Buffalo.
Buffalo, right?
It's your division.
I mean, the Fitz magic is no longer there. He's no longer pulling rabbits out the hat no more.
It was a beatdown probably. 49ers or your Kites? My bad, the Jets.
Oh, that's we going for the number 1 overall pick this year.
49ers.
We going for the number 1 overall pick.
49ers.
Oh, but the 49ers, they also picked up Mohamed Sanu this week.
I don't think
last week.
I don't think it makes a difference. They're a running football team anyway, and I don't really trust Garoppolo down the stretch. He can't make easy throws down the stretch. You seen fourth down against the Cardinals, easy out route for the wide out. He threw it late, got batted down. I don't trust Garoppolo, man.
Well, okay, that's fair. Rams or Philly?
Rams.
I'm gonna go with Rams.
Denver or Pittsburgh?
Steelers, of course. You know what's happening, man.
Oh, I forgot you a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
That's okay. Now I see what it is.
Carolina or Tampa?
Tampa.
I can't go with nothing Tom Brady, so I'm going with Carolina.
Tampa.
I can't go nothing Tom
I'm
Brady.
taking Tampa by.
Hey, look, when I
by
was
35 maybe.
when I was at work this week, I saw them going to practice, so I'm gonna go with Carolina.
Okay. The Washington team or Arizona? I think that's gonna be a good
Arizona. Arizona won.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Washington.
I mean, they were down 17-0 against the Eagles, man. Their defense really carried them. 8 sacks, 2 turnovers. That's why they won the game. But
Yeah,
I think Cardinals, after watching what Hopkins did week 1, I think they're gonna beat Washington, man.
I mean that front four is gonna have Murray running around all game.
That's what I said. The Washington
The Washington
team.
and Cardinals.
Yeah, I got Cardinals.
Kansas or Chargers? Kansas City or Chargers?
Kansas City.
Chiefs.
It's that easy?
That easy.
Yeah, Mahomes is. I mean,
They're in the same division, aren't they? It's a divisional game.
Yeah, but the Chiefs are just better.
yeah.
Okay, Baltimore. I think this game of the week: Baltimore or Houston.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
It's that easy,
I
too.
don't even think that's a contest, man. That's probably gonna be a blowout.
But it's the teams are a mirror of each other. The quarterbacks, the system, it's a mirror of each other.
Yeah, I still can't get why Houston gave up Hopkins. Unless they know something I don't know, you don't give away players like that.
What about Cam and New England against Seattle and Russell?
Seattle.
You want to talk about 2 guys that mirror each other? That's
Yeah, it's just one is 6'5", and the other one is 5'5".
I mean,
that's tough.
Well, I think if the crowd was involved, I would give Seattle the edge, but I still think Seattle wins.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Seattle because I can't root for New England, but that's tough because
Cam played well last week.
yeah, but it was against
Dolphins, Miami.
Yeah, it was against Miami.
Yeah, but they split with Miami the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but it's
Well, as long as it's in Miami. They
yeah. I
always
mean,
split.
you can't really count that. Miami had Ray Finkel playing quarterback last week.
All right, and Monday night, Saints and Las Vegas Rams.
Oh, I'm going to Saints.
Saints, yeah. Going with the Saints.
I'm going with the Saints.
Raiders didn't look impressive to y'all?
I mean, they looked okay, but I think they
They could put up points.
They don't have no match against
I-
the Saints.
I understand that, but the thing with Drew Brees during the regular season, he's a monster. It's just that in the playoffs,
Yeah, his accuracy is unbelievable, like 80% almost or
Yeah.
something. It's
yeah,
unbelievable.
The Panthers put up, 30 points against them?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not. Saints going to win the game.
I mean, that's all the picks. I got something that I want to talk about, to be honest. I think it's the NBA All-Star selection. I think very interesting what happened.
Who was on the first team?
First team is LeBron, Giannis, Harden, Anthony Davis, and Luka. I think that's pretty unanimous there. I don't think there's anybody that would argue that.
I'm not arguing that.
No, that seems pretty solid.
Now, the second team is a little interesting because we have Kawhi, Jokic, Dame, CP, and, Spicy P.
Now, when we went to commercial break, George said something about he don't think Siakam should be on the
Second team. I don't think he should be second team. I feel like Jason Tatum should have got the second team nod over Siakam.
Or even Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, or Jimmy.
or Jimmy. That's solid. I don't have a problem with it. They was second in the East,
Yeah.
led by him and Kyle Lowry. So I don't have a problem with it.
Now the third team is Tatum, Butler, Gobert, Simmons, and Westbrook.
I don't have a problem with that neither.
Yeah. I mean, Gobert, I don't know about Gobert's on the third team?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he should be on the third team.
Then who should replace him?
Probably, you can put Joel Embiid in there. Joel Embiid should have been third team.
Or Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal?
Yeah.
Why so?
He averaged 30. He's the first player in NBA history to average 30 and not make it.
To the All NBA team?
To any team, yeah. To any of the teams.
I mean, to be honest with you, if your preference is his stats, then obviously, but
that's what this is. It's a statistical accolade for the regular season outside of wins.
well, I mean, the wins probably do play a big part. Because they
I mean, yeah, it's real biased because all these players are.
What about
Top five players.
Donovan Mitchell? Why he get snubbed? Why did he even make
Yeah,
the team?
even Donovan.
Donovan should have been on the team.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they make these selections, but that third team, yeah, I could see Donovan Mitchell over Gobert being on that third team.
Yeah.
But I guess they was doing it for because he don't have the numbers as far as offensively, but defensively, he was probably in the running for defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, it's okay, but I just feel like some players got snubbed because their names are not as big as other players.
yeah, you know how I feel about guys putting up points and not winning. So I'm not gonna move on that stance, even if he put up 40 a game. If you put up 40 a game and you can't get to the playoffs in the East, when Brooklyn they was a couple of games under 500 and they still made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had an opportunity to make the playoffs. He didn't go to the bubble.
Bill didn't go to the bubble?
No,
Wow.
he didn't go to the bubble. But Washington was one of the teams
Yeah, they were in there.
that was in contention. So
Yeah, he didn't go.
if he gets in there and he helps his team get to the 8th spot, I think they made the voting before the bubble. But
it was one of them things where he had to win all 8 games to get in, like Devin Booker did. So he just did. He knew he couldn't do it.
I mean, not necessarily.
They had to win 8, and then the 8th seed had to lose at least 4 or 5.
Nah, because you had to be within 4 to have the playing game.
Yeah,
Remember-
I think they were 4 games behind, anyways.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they can at least get within 4 games, they would have been playing for that 8th and final spot. So for whatever reason he didn't come to the bubble, that could have been his opportunity to be like, hey, look, I willed my team to the playoffs, even though we got punched in the first round, but I should be on that. So that's just my opinion, though.
That's all right. I'll take it. I mean, that wraps it up, fellas.
Pretty quick episode, quick, straight to the point.
Yep.
Any shout outs y'all want to give out?
Nah, just shout out to everybody, the medical workers in this whole pandemic, like we always do. Everybody stay safe, and we'll just keep grinding and keep giving y'all content.
Any shout outs, George? Well, I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to George for getting Nam here on time. Every time, last time he tried to blame you. He tried to say you was the reason why he was late. I want to shout out to all the 9to5ers, everybody that's been supporting. I want to shout out my Uncle D. He told me to give a specific message saying he's the reason for my sports knowledge. So give a shout out to Uncle D and the fam and everybody that tuned in and just keep supporting. I mean, it's a 1 year anniversary.
Yeah. We've been actually making things happen, man. It's been a roller coaster type of ride. We started from outside, now we got a full blown studio, and then we had like a 3-month layoff or whatever. So, but we still here.
I mean, and due to the pandemic, we couldn't celebrate, bring no cups or nothing like that. We got to keep it real. We got a little hand sanitizer.
Quarantine, yeah.
We got a quarantine, So, but we're going to celebrate once this, kind of gets on the wrap. But.
And then I'll cue you, okay? And we're going down.